In this compact course, we will be learning all the essentials for data analysis. We will convert lists into a table and take a look at the table tools that are available. We will use Excel's aggregate functions to conditionally apply calculations to our data. We will use pivot tables to summarize our data set, and then we will take it a step further. We will create pivot charts to create visuals from our data set. Go ahead and open the practice file for this course, and we are going to dive right in. On our Creating Tables worksheet tab, we have some basic employee data. So notice that we have well-defined headers. We have employee ID, last name, first name, department, email, phone extension, location, hire date, and pay rate. So that's a good first step. We want to make sure that we have well-defined headers, right? So remember our headers. They are the key when we are analyzing our data. So we want to make sure that they are all named well and they are meaningful and they accurately describe the data below. The next thing that we have, unique labels. This is not always the case, but it's best to have unique labels when you are working with data. So in this case, our unique labels, we can see that we have unique ID numbers, and this will give us some better opportunities to kind of just filter our data down to what we are looking for as well. The other thing that we want to make sure that we have complete records. So as long as our list has well-defined headers, unique labels, and complete records, meaning no blanks, then we are good to go. We can see that this data set, we don't have any blank cells in here. We have complete records on row 5. We have a complete record for Joe Gonzalez. All of the information is filled out. If we do have blank cells in our dataset, we will run into some problems. Now, one of the problems that you will run into is that our data analysis will be incorrect or incomplete because we are actually missing data. So it's usually a good idea just to kind of scroll through your dataset, make sure that you don't have any blanks. You can always use the count blank function, and this will kind of help you to count the amount of blanks that you have in your data. So I'll just enter the count blank function here, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight all my data. So Excel is going to count all the blank cells, and it finds in the range A3 down to I40. If I press enter, I have 0 blank cells and I'm good to go. Now if I were to delete a cell, it tells me right away that I have 1 blank cell, right? So those are some good first steps, some other tricky things to kind of look for, especially when you are working with dates and numerical values. You want to make sure that they are formatted properly. So we can see, if we take a look at our hire dates here, we can see that they are properly formatted as a date. This is not always the case. Sometimes you have data that's extracted from one program to the next. You may notice sometimes, even though these look like dates, they say something else up here. It may say something like custom or general, so you want to make sure that you make those adjustments here. We're all good here for the pay rates as well. We can see that's using the currency format, so we are pretty much ready to go ahead and analyze this data in a table.